Hope everybody can hear me. Yo. So we're going live on YouTube and we're going live on the Gram. So the original plan was to kind of show y'all the little bit on acquisitions regarding real estate, and as well as kind of like a brief intro to the courses that we got coming out for realtors and Airbnb investors. So the way that we're doing it on, streaming on YouTube. Yep. I am. I'm also going to be answering questions, and just bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and send y'all the link, and we got calls coming through. If people know I'm on live. All right, so we got pause to poor connection. Here we go. So so we're gonna do Instagram and YouTube. All right. So I'm gonna get going here in a second, guys. I'm pulling up the documents to follow along. If you registered on the calendar, you'll also get the link to the course, kind of high overview of it. I'll pull it up right now, and I'm going to send it to you guys. I'm going to send it to Josh, and Josh is going to send it to you guys so you can view it. I'm going to send you the link. All right, so here we go. Go to my files real quick. Josh, I'm sending you the file. If you can just send it to the folks that signed up on Calendly, and they will be able to follow along. So when you send it, just do Google. All right. Bear with me, a little technical difficulties, but we're going to get through it. We are going to get through. What up, y'all? I see everybody coming in. I see Matthew E. I see Mike. What's up, Nabil? Long time. Just send each other the. Here we go. Yep, I got your text. All right, bet. Here we go. For those of y'all that signed up on the Calendly link, you will get the link to follow along with me on the webinar. All right, so we are doing how to acquire real estate properties. This is the first webinar that we're going to do out of many leading up to the course release. Just kind of briefly going over on the courses outline. This course outline is going to be why Airbnbs are smart investments, how to acquire, the properties for Airbnb and rental arbitrage and subleasing. And then it's going to be how to acquire properties to lease to own, also acquiring properties to purchase traditionally and using a realtor, and then automating your Airbnb for more passive income. Right. So we got a few people that's here on YouTube, and we have people that's on Instagram. All right. So what you want to do is, let's just go over the basics real quick. What are we talking about? We're going to go into the Airbnb model, and then also we're going to go into the just kind of the traditional way of getting property, and then kind of using it uniquely to gain revenue. All right. So how profitable is Airbnb rentals, right? So you can earn as little as a couple of grand per month, all the way up to 10 to 15,000 plus, where it's just kind of dependent on the actual staging of the property, right? So the main common method that everybody kind of gets into on their first go around, or the most common way I would say, is the rental arbitrage and subleasing, right? That's when you get a lease to a place, a property, whether it's an apartment, townhome, or single family home, and you get a lease, and then you in turn rent it out on another platform such as Airbnb and VRBO and all the other ones that are out there that are coming out now. So that's definitely one that I kind of want to dive into right away. Rental arbitrage is kind of resurfacing itself because of Airbnb, but it's really kind of an old way of how people used to rent and use their space as shared spaces if they had big families, or if they lived in dense populations and things like that. That is rental arbitrage. It basically means you're subleasing. So you're leasing a spot to earn passive income, and then you turn around and you're subleasing it on another program or another platform. So the lease to own way is another way that's kind of brand new, and me as being a real estate professional, I'm able to kind of speak to you guys for both aspects of it, as an investor and also as a real estate professional. The second way getting into this is the lease to own, and that is when you're leasing to own a property when you have equitable interest into the property. And that's really, really getting a lot of traction now, a lot popular. If you're not too ready to buy, or if you are not if you don't want to lease, but you want to have some type of equitable interest into it, leasing to own is a new way that we kind of, as realtors, have been helping consumers get into properties that might not have the perfect credit score, and they might not, they might not have the down payment or the money that it takes to buy a property outright. So that is through a program that we call Divvy Homes, and they take 1 or 2% down, and as low as a 580 FICO score. So it's very obtainable. If you have a little liquid in the bank and you see a property, you're not too sure if you're going to get approved for a traditional mortgage like an FHA or a conventional. Leasing to own is your new way to get properties. It's through a program called Divvy. If you guys are interested in that, please send me a direct message or send me a message after we stream, and I will definitely get you all the information that you need to know about how to apply with Divvy and getting onto that, so you can kind of lease to own. Just kind of let me break down a little bit more of what they do. So they want 1 or 2% down, and as low as a 580 FICO, and they will also charge you a little bit of accelerated rent, but the accelerated rent that you're paying is going into a what we call an escrow or a savings account. So they'll give you 3 years. It's designed for you to purchase within 3 years. So all the extra money that you are paying with the accelerated rent is going towards the savings account. Even the 1% or the 2% down that you put down is going towards a savings account. So whenever you get your own finances and you're ready to go, you can relate that money that you have towards savings, and the 1 or 2% your down payment's already done. So now all you're worried about is your closing costs, and your realtor of your choice can help you uh, reduce some of your closing costs, or you've saved up enough money and now you can own the property that you're already leasing, right? So that is the lease to own method. It's one of the newest methods out there, and people are taking advantage of it, and they're becoming homeowners no matter what. So just know that you can become a homeowner. And the reason why I'm bringing up that is because when you get into this Airbnb space, the true winners in all of this is the homeowners. Yes, doing rental arbitrage is an easy way to get into, and subleasing, but the true winners in this is the homeowners, right? Because they get the equitable interest. They're charging somebody, they're being the landlord, and they're charging a tenant for rent as well. And you're able to kind of do the turnkey method, which we'll kind of go in a little bit later. All right, so we're going into number 3 in acquisitions. Right now, we're talking about acquisitions, getting into short-term rentals, or the more favorable term, Airbnb, right? So purchasing a property, there's 2 ways to do it. Either you get a conventional or you get an FHA loan, right? FHA loan is only 3.5% down. It's designed for first-time home buyers. It's designed for you to be able to afford the mortgage acquisition, and it's designed for you to be able to own the properties. But FHA is strictly for first-time home buyers. If you're able to do a refi and you refinance out of the FHA, you can use the FHA again. There's certain rules and regulations depending on where your original home is. But if you hire a realtor, they'll be able to navigate through that with you, right? So that's the most traditional way. The other way is conventional. Conventional is 5 to 15 to 20% down on obtaining the property, but you don't have a PMI. You don't have to worry about that, right? So that's the conventional way. Let's talk about key points for Airbnb, right? So Airbnb is a website platform where property managers and owners can rent out their property nightly to guests and as a vacation rental, right? So a lot of people don't understand this is when you get into this type of real estate, you have a vacation rental property. That's what it is. You have a vacation rental property. It's under the corporate housing structure as a short-term rental or vacation rental, right? If done successfully, you can generate more revenue from Airbnb properties than a traditional property. So yes, you are doing light years ahead of the normal investor that buys the property and gives it out to a market rent. The revenue that you get is sometimes 10x versus doing a regular lease. So that's why we categorize Airbnb as short-term rentals and vacation rentals, right? So these are the benefits that you get. This is more of the acquisition type of teaching that we're doing today to kind of show you how to get into it, right? So in the financial industry, the word arbitrage, right? We're going back to rental arbitrage here, is basically the practice of making a purchase in one market and making profit off of the price difference by selling that asset on a different market. So what that means is that you obtained a lease to a property and you've put it on Airbnb or VRBO or HomeAway or any of the other industries out there as far as platforms, and then you are subleasing it on the market to obviously gain income. So arbitrage is kind of like the newest term that people have been using when they lease these properties, and they're leasing it out again on a platform, but it is fairly been around for quite some time, but it's new to the vacation rentals. So when you hear somebody talk about arbitrage, what is rental arbitrage? That's what you are hearing. They don't own the property, but they have the right to lease it and the right to sublease it, right? So what things that you should look about or know about with the arbitrage? You should definitely get it approved. You should definitely make sure that your landlord understands your business model and how you are getting into Airbnb using the arbitrage method. I've used it. I currently still use it to this day, and it was a way for me to kind of get into real estate without having to put up that extensive excess cash or or running my credit through all three credit bureaus, right? If you have liquid, if you have cash, you're able to kind of do that method. Okay. Communicating effectively with corporate housing and things like that. You want to make sure that your lease is very transparent, right? Your lease should say, you are a corporate housing company. That's the term. People take that more professionally. You are a short-term rental investor or a vacation rental investor. Transparency is very, very, very key here, guys. You don't want to get into a property using this method, and then all of a sudden your landlord hears that you're doing Airbnb, or there's people coming in and out the property, and they might not understand the business model. It's very apparent that you guys get that written on a lease that this is the type of business that you're doing, and that Airbnb is going to be here, but you want to make sure that they understand that everything is going to be good and legit. So you should have a one-pager is what I normally do, and I give to the landlords. It explains the business, it explains my security, it explains the insurance that I have on my property, and they get a little bit more comfortable and they allow it, right? So preservation is key. So if you're preserving the company, or if you're preserving the property on the benefit of your company, the landlord will love you. You are the perfect tenant, and you want to explain to them why you're the perfect tenant, right? So what does it look like negotiating with these landlords, right? First, if you have a realtor that is actually an investor and that actually has done Airbnb, they'll be able to negotiate with landlords. If not, you can definitely take some of these key points that I'm going to give you. All right, so it's low risk, affordable option to get into Airbnb. Preservation is definitely your aim into this, and you want to let them know that their property is going to be safe in your hands. You should also get some type of insurance policy and things like that. Let's turn it here. Sorry guys, we had a call come in. So getting back to the rental arbitrage method, you need to explain to the landlord that you want a longer lease term too, because if you get a lease for 1 year, well, a month or 2 months of that is you staging the property, right? So now you're back down to 10 months, right? And Airbnb, if you've been in this game, know that you have seasons. The high seasons is from May all the way to August, right? That's when people go back to school in August, and it's kind of college gets back going and people getting back to the fall. So you want to make sure that they understand that 12 months is not going to be enough. You need at least 24 months to 36 months is what I say, and that'll kind of get you out there to see what type of money that you're really making, and to see it really counts your benefits on a calendar year after your property's already been staged, after your pictures have been taken, after you've gone through a high season. This is more of a realistic way to see how your business is going to go. So when you're doing a lease, when you're doing a rental arbitrage, it's important to get more than 12 months. Rule of thumb, 24 to 36 months. 24 to 36 months, right? So let's jump to the lease to own and some of the benefits of doing lease to own, right? One of the things I talk about with lease to own, you'll have time to accumulate enough, eventually have enough down payment. Your credit score isn't quite as high. It doesn't need to be for a mortgage approval when you're doing lease to own. They just want to see that you have the money in the bank. You put down your down payment, and you made a commitment to purchase that property within the set amount of years, right? You can also be building equity while you're inside of this house, right? Because you have an equity interest. What do I mean by that? It means that the property gets more valuable every year. As you people know, real estate only appreciates and never depreciates. Real estate only appreciates. So if you're doing a lease to own method, you're already in the home, you're already leasing the home, and you're getting the equity that comes with it. However, how many years that you're there, property gets more expensive. So you have an equity interest into it. It's really important, right? I remember how I told you guys, the winners in this game are the people that own the property, right? So if this is your first time purchasing a property, you'll have a chance to explore finance options on which there are going to be favorable programs for you, right? So it doesn't put you under pressure to get into an FHA loan. It doesn't put you under pressure to get into a conventional loan. It's pretty much straddling right in between. So you had the time to kind of look out there and give you more time on your feet, whether you see if the FHA is going to be favorable for you at the end of your 3 years with Divvy, or if you're going to go the conventional route and put a little bit more money down, right? So let's go over some of the key points for lease to own. A lease to own contract is an agreement between a tenant and a landlord that guarantees said tenant will purchase the property from their landlord down the line, typically upon the termination of their current lease, right? Lease to own agreements can be a more forbearing approach than traditionally purchasing the property. This also benefits the landlord/seller, making it a possible negotiation tool. So for people that have properties that you want to do a lease to own, you're just leasing out the property. In case that person never defaults, all you do is go through a simple eviction process because you still own it. But if you are on the other side and you're a tenant, you have equitable interest. So you're watching that property grow in value, right? So let's go down to the purchasing a property for the investment, right? This is the traditional way that we're getting ready to touch into, and that is purchase a property with FHA or conventional. What are some of the things that you need, right? What are some of the credit scores that you need? You can have as low as a 580, right, to get into FHA or conventional, as long as you have the money down, which FHA is 3.5% down, and conventional can go up to 20% down, right? This is when you agree that you're going to get a long-term mortgage. 30 years is the common, or 15 years, right? And you're using that space for Airbnb. Well, 30 years, 15 years is a long time to make money on Airbnb. And you own the property, so you're getting the equitable interest, you're getting the tax breaks. It might be a homestead, and here's what you can do with that. If you own the property, you can do a lot of different methods on Airbnb. It's not just the rent out the whole house and then you have to leave. Some people purchase a property and they will rent out the extra rooms in their house on Airbnb or any other type of platform. So it gives you that liberty to do that. And since you own the property, you're able to kind of borrow from the property. You can borrow from the equity and get more rental estates, right? So let's get down to the nitty-gritty on automating your operation. This is now past the acquisition stage. Remember, we went over 3 acquisitions. It was rental arbitrage, it was lease to own, and it was the traditional way to buy real estate. So now we're getting into the operating phase of it. You've already got the property, you got the keys in your hand. What do you do next, right? So what you want to do next is you want to secure the property. Get a security system into place to where you can have a keypad on the front door or any access. If you have a gate to get to the front door, you want to put on a keypad access somewhere where you can change the code every guest, or you can have certain type of codes for your maids or any type of handyman that needs to get in there. You'll know exactly who's coming in and out of the property based on the code that they use, right? We're going into the operation side of it and automating that operations. So I'm just compounding it with the security. Like my first Airbnb, I had Vivid, and Vivid put keypads on the front door. They gave me a ring, not a ring, but they gave me a doorbell camera that I could use no matter where I'm at. As long as we have internet there, I'm able to see who's coming in and out the front door, which is definitely a security thing. How do you automate that, right? You also want to automate the access to your garage. If you have a garage, any access point to the property, you need to automate, right? As hands off as possible. We're trying to go for passive income here and not manageable income. We're trying to make money passively. So if you got to get up and deal with lockbox not opening, then you got to bring another key to your guest. You're spending too much time doing that. The first thing you do, guys, is get that keypad, make your garage door automated. You should be able to open your garage from your phone using the app, and I'm able to kind of show you guys exactly all the resources and software that I use to make my places automated. Right. So what's the next thing is Wi-Fi. You gotta have a Wi-Fi. Everybody wants the Wi-Fi. Everybody wants the internet. Make sure that it is a strong signal, strong with good Wi-Fi, so that it can be fast. You know, you don't want to get the cheapest thing out there. You want to have the Wi-Fi that when people come, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many people that you sleep in the place can get on there on the Wi-Fi comfortably, and they should be able to stream. They should be able to check their emails, watch videos without any type of lagging, right? So it's very important that you get a very strong Wi-Fi signal. From there, you want to stage the property. So here's when everybody wants to know how you should stage. First thing you need to do is get on Airbnb. Get on the platform that you are trying to get on. Look at the competition. What do they have in their properties that's making them successful? Look at their bookings. You can see if they're available or not. Look at their bookings. See what that person has for them to have a superhost status. What do they have in their property that's making them stand out? How is their furniture laid out? You know what I mean? These are the things that you got to know about before you start staging. If you're going on to the second tier, I call it the second tier investor, and you're coming in and you got a little bit money to spend towards resources, you need to hire an interior designer. Go walk the property with the interior designer. Give them your vision. The main thing that the interior designer needs to know is how many people are you going to sleep in your property, right? Because then they need to design around that. If you're going to have 8 people, 2 bedrooms here, depending on your bedrooms, you want to make sure your interior designer knows that so they can kind of design around it. Remember, the more people that you sleep in a property comfortably is to me the more accessible that you are to have large groups. Everybody knows when you book an Airbnb with a group, everybody splits that fee and kind of breaks it down, right? So your designer needs to design this place adequately versus how many people that you want to have at the property is very, very, very important, right? And it just another tip is that the algorithm behind Airbnb is heavily dependent on how many heads that you can sleep in the house, right? Now, what does that look like? It doesn't mean to tell them that you got bunk beds here and there. If you have rollaway beds, you need to be specific to say that you got a rollaway bed, and that's accounting for the extra bodies that you can sleep at your property, right? And the interior designer will make concessions for that, right? Concept Airbnbs. People want to know what concept Airbnbs are. These are pretty much themed Airbnbs that you've developed a theme around, whether the house is all black or whether you have a luxury approach to the Airbnb, or whether you're going on based on the area that you're in. If you're by the beach, if you have a landlord by the beach, maybe you want to make it kind of beach house style. These concept Airbnbs, on average, I'm telling you guys, 20 to 30% better on your investment because you're thinking outside of the box. What are people doing when they look on Airbnbs? They're looking through the pictures, right? So you got about half a second to wow somebody to make them feel like they're comfortable. First thing they're going to do is look at your picture. What's the next thing they're going to do? Look at your rating. They want to see who has stayed there before. What are the comments people are saying about your place? These are the things that you need to have in your head, and also when you want to stand out. So these concept Airbnbs are not cheap as well. But just like with any investment, the more money you get in, hopefully it's the more money that you get out. I can tell you guys comfortably that I have spent upwards of 20 grand on a concept Airbnb right off the bat. That's after I paid my security deposit for the rental arbitrage, right? This is me speaking from the rental arbitrage method. This is after me putting down my security deposit. This is after me putting down my first month's payment. And this is me saying I have a budget in mind to make this place an awesome theme or concept Airbnb. So it can go higher. I'm just saying the ones that we've done that has during the high season has hit consistently 10 grand a month on Airbnb alone is the concept Airbnbs, right? And I could tell you guys again that I spent 15, 20 grand up front to make that happen, right? It's a lot of money, but when you're breaking down and you're getting 10 grand or 8 grand a month, and you have 24 to 36 months, the startup cost is very minimal to you. So not everybody has to do concept Airbnbs. This is just another way so you can stand out, right? So think about that, and it's definitely up to you how you want to get into this. You don't have to do the concepts to get into this game, but if you want the big bucks, if you want people to have your place very desirable, these concept Airbnbs, these themed Airbnbs are getting more and more popular, more and more popular. All right. So I promised you guys Q&A. So don't worry, we're going to get to it. Automating your Airbnb, right? So now Airbnb has made their software very, very friendly and very user friendly. In the beginning, almost 4 years ago now, whenever I started, I had to get the software to manage Airbnb like Lendio or Smart BNB or IGMS. Those are the softwares that are popular right now. I'm gonna go over it again. It's Lendio, Smart BNB, and IGMS. I personally use IGMS right now. Do you need software to run your Airbnb? You don't today, because Airbnb caught on that everybody was getting software to kind of run their stuff. I really think that when you start to scale, when you start to get 3 or 4 or 5 Airbnbs, you should definitely look for added software to kind of help you manage the communication with the guests. Maybe you want to manage your cleaners a little bit better based on that software. There's tons of softwares out there, you guys. But if you're just getting started and you only got one and you're only on Airbnb, you using the platform should be more enough for you to be able to manage your Airbnb and be able to make it sustainable. Only when you start to scale is when you start to use software to kind of manage Airbnb. Here's another thing, guys. If you want to make an impact and you're unsure about how much to spend, don't be afraid to JV or add a partner or get a type of a partnership so you guys can split that expenses up front initially, right? These are the things that you want to think about when getting into Airbnb, and it's not cheap in the beginning. You need to be able to survive 3 months on Airbnb or any other platform that you guys are out there to be able to survive 3 months. This is after that. This is after you have paid your security deposit. This is after you paid your first month's rent. And this is after you stage the property. You need to be able to survive because it is a high cash or high liquid up front, depending on your finances, whether you're running credit or liquid. It is a lot of money up front to get going. But just like with any business, the startup costs. So these are the things that you kind of want to know about, right? So if you're unsure about the money, if you're unsure that you can dedicate that amount of money in the beginning, don't be afraid to get a partner, all right, or develop a JV or develop a new company to kind of so you guys can split those expenses up front, right? So we're gonna get to the Q&A, guys. I'm just going over our course. Our course is just about done. This is the outline of it, right? So how do you automate? What's another way you can automate your process, right? Remote access, getting the keypads, getting the software to run it through automated messages. So anytime somebody books you or sends you an inquiry, you want to have pre-written scripts already done. Like when somebody books one of my units, it sends a message right away, right? And that is something that I learned early on before I got a property manager. We're going over that next. We're going over property management next, right? So you have your scripts already written, so they expect, they know your expectations coming into your unit, and they should have that from start to exiting the Airbnb. You want to have that pre-written. That script should be pretty much universal, outlining what you expect, what your quiet hours are, how many people can stay at the property, maybe attractions. Maybe you want to add a link there. Maybe you want to add experience. These you gotta have that part automated. Airbnb looks at how long it takes for you to respond to a guest. They look at that, right? So obviously, every software has algorithm, behind it. But I do know you don't want to be slow to respond to these guests, especially if it's an inquiry, because they're still shopping around. I mean, they haven't booked yet. So they might find somebody else's Airbnb because you took too long to respond to them, right? That's why you need to have these automated messages. On the morning of checkout, your checkout instructions should be automated. It should definitely come to them, 2-3 hours, maybe 4 hours before they leave. If you're outlining, hey, guys, please help me, move the trash to the curb, or please make sure all the doors are locked. Please make sure you turn off all the lights. Set the thermometer back to where it was at. Now, you can also automate your temperature in the house, your thermometer. You want to kind of get the I use Vivid, so in the security system will give you that thermometer to where you can the thermostat that you can manage from anywhere you are. Sorry, guys, we're getting a call. So we're at 8:40 now, and I'm going to open it up for Q&A. So everybody that's here on the live, on Instagram and on YouTube, feel free to kind of ask some questions, and then I will answer you guys, because I know you guys have very specific questions. I want to talk to the people that are looking to get into Airbnb. I want to talk to people that are looking to purchase a real estate. Just feel free to ask any questions. I see a lot of my clients on here. What up? What up? What up? So, guys, we are slowing down on the acquisition talk right now, and then we're just doing Q&A. So feel free to throw some questions out there for me, and then I'll answer to my best ability. All right. Still got people joining. Feel free to ask any questions, guys. I'm gonna scroll up to see, make sure I didn't miss any questions. Here's one. Okay, the area. All right. So I'm in Houston right now. So a lot of my people here on the stream are from Houston, right? And the question is, what area should you have Airbnb? That's a tricky one for Houston, at least. So I am a advocate on a quality product, right? So I don't want to be location driven. I feel like my Airbnb should do well pretty much anywhere, right? A lot of people go towards the dense populations, towards the main attractions, downtown, or towards the stadium, or towards somewhere where it brings a lot of people. I can tell you guys today, I have a portfolio all over Houston. And pre-pandemic, we had it all over Dallas as well. And sometimes these Airbnbs are not in the spots where everybody is. It's not next to downtown. It's not inside the loop if you're in Houston. It really kind of depends on the quality of your product, right? So don't be so strong on location driven. If your product is good, meaning your Airbnb, your unit is staged, number one, if it's staged well and you have a good logistics system behind it and you have great reviews, your Airbnb can kind of do well anywhere, right? It's pretty much hospitality business. You got pretty much like a mini hotel, right? You want to be able to drive people to come to you because your product is good, not because of the location, right? If you're just driving towards the location, then don't worry about the staging of it, right? If you're going to have people come, people are going to come regardless. So my whole thing is you got to think about how well and the quality of your product is first before your location. So remember, the quality of your product first, and then location can be more of a secondary thing. Let me see here. What about we have a question here on YouTube. How important are reviews? Oh man, guys, like the reviews on your Airbnbs are everything. Remember, Airbnb wants you to have a strong ranking system. You know, people are going to rank your Airbnb or give you a status after they leave, and they're going to give you a review. It is in your best interest that everyone that comes to your Airbnb leaves you a good review, leaves you a good rating. It's not going to happen all the time, but if your average is you got 10 people and 8 people left you a good review, then your average should be around the 4.8 or the 5.0 rating marks to show that your Airbnb is worthy, right? And that people have come and stayed. It's the validation behind it, right? So reviews are everything. You cannot do well, especially on Airbnb or any other hospitality business with bad reviews. It's just not going to happen. Your bookings are going to plummet. Airbnb is going to pick up on that and drop your listing in the algorithm. So the reviews are pretty much hardcore, and they're very, very, very important. Very important. You got to have good reviews. If I also have some tips and tricks regarding the reviews when you get your Airbnb going, how to make sure that you're starting off with a 5-star rating on your Airbnbs. I definitely have some tips and tricks to that. Sorry guys, I just got a new booking on Airbnb. Let me pull it up. So, all right, any more questions regarding real estate or Airbnb? Shoot them out there. Instagram, y'all too. Any questions regarding Airbnbs? We're doing the Q&A part of this stream now. We started at around 8 o'clock. We're about 45 minutes in, and I promised y'all that I'll do a Q&A session. So y'all go ahead and shoot your questions to me, and I will gladly answer. Property management. Let's get to that real quick. Just had a question on YouTube. Property management. I do have a property manager now. It's only because I don't have the liberty to manage. Sorry, I had a call come in. Boozer, tell your brother I'm on the live. I don't have the liberty to manage the Airbnbs myself. So I hired a property manager that is turnkey. Hurry up. So I hired a property manager that is turnkey. And the way that I do it is we do a revenue share. So for a set amount of percentage, my property manager turnkey manages all my Airbnbs 100%. Just because I don't have the liberty to manage my Airbnbs like I used to. When I very first started, first year into it, I was managing my Airbnbs, and then I scaled very quickly to where I can outsource a property manager, and now my property manager turnkey manages our units. So property management is not a must. You don't necessarily need it. It's definitely a preference for you. My whole thing is passive income. Not saying that you can't manage it obtainably, but if I'm able to get a property manager, that's what I had to do to be able to kind of scale. And somebody that has experience into the game for property management. It's not regular property management. This isn't a property manager managing a regular house with a regular tenant that's staying for 12 months paying regular rent. This is a property manager that schedules the cleaners. He communicates with the guests, maintains a high rating for you on Airbnb so you can continue to be booked, maintains your superhost status or has a superhost status, right? This is for a property manager that has experience in the game, right? You want to go with a property manager that has experience in the game if you are truly going to get a property manager. The turnkey property manager in Airbnb is pretty much like an operations manager. You're allowing somebody to kind of manage your operations for you and manage your bookings. It is not a must, right? But when you start to scale, when you guys start to scale, you definitely want to look into getting a property manager. All right, so we got a question here. What's the startup cost? So I can tell you guys firmly that I've seen startup costs all over the place, It definitely depends on the property that you have and what you're willing to do in that Airbnb. The startup cost is not a universal thing, right? So you can buy a property that already has furniture, or you can lease a property that already has furniture, and you significantly decrease your amount that you have to come out of pocket for your startup costs. So startup costs can go from a wide range as low as a couple of grand to, like I said, from me personally, $20,000. Right? It's totally up to you. So there's not a universal startup cost. It's really going to depend on your budget and how you manage that. So good question. Good question. Keep them coming, y'all. Keep them coming. It's 8:50. We got 10 minutes left. 10 minutes left. Ask any questions that you guys want. We've already gone over the acquisitions. We've already gone over the automations. For y'all that's getting in here, we are now on the Q&A part of this stream. So I'm answering the questions that you guys throw out there. What's up? I'm gonna hit wave for some of y'all that just now joining. And YouTubers, I see y'all too. Especially for the people that subscribe and get on the YouTube. We weren't able to share simultaneously the screen, but my social media manager, Josh, should have already sent you guys a link to view some of the course materials. It's not completely done yet, but it's about 80% done. It's going to be done in September, and then we're going to allow that out to the public. So we're going to be doing these streams every week until the course comes out. But if you are subscribed to YouTube and you booked or registered through the Calendar app on the profile, then Josh should have already sent you a link to view the course as we went through it. But we are now on the questions and answer part of it. So y'all continue to throw your questions out. All right, here we go. Do you need a LLC? Nope. You don't necessarily need an LLC, but it is very proper-like to have an LLC. I think I started off with a DBA, doing business as. I have no business credit, but I did have a little bit of liquid saved up. And so my first Airbnb I did with a DBA on my lease. I still have it because this is my first property I still have to this day. We survived through the pandemic and everything. But specifically to answer your question, you don't need an LLC to get into this. It's more of a proper thing to have an LLC. But my very first one that I had was with the DBA. It had my name. It says Stedman Essen, doing business as, right? And all I did was go down to the county courthouse and told them to please direct me to where I can pick up a DBA. Went down there to the courthouse. I sat down. I was there maybe 20 minutes. And I told them what type of business that I wanted to do. And I told them what was the business name. And they printed out a sheet right there. First, they're going to look in the system in the state to make sure that you don't have your business name taken already. And then they will print you out an official certificate that says your name, doing business as your said business name. And it cost me $15. I have about 12 of them. I was a serial DBA starter a couple of years ago. And $15 got me a certificate. And I went straight down to the bank. I gave the bank my DBA certificate, and I started up a business account. So not necessarily do you need a LLC, but great question, great question. All right, we got another question here. What's the average startup cost? We kind of went over that already. Startup cost kind of ranges from, it just depends on your budget, depends on what the property is, how much the staging is going to be, what type of staging you're going to do. There's not a universal startup cost. I can tell you guys, I've had a client, guys, do an Airbnb in a mobile trailer, right? And their startup cost was just very little, a couple of grand. And they 4X, 5X their money with a mobile trailer on Airbnb. So there's not a universal startup cost. It's more along sides towards the property type, and then how you're staging the property, and then, obviously the location of the property. So, not an average, but if you want to ask me about the concept Airbnbs and single family homes, then you're going to spend anywhere between 10,000 and plus on a concept Airbnb. Good question. Good question. Who do you use for insurance, and what type of policy is it? So we were blessed enough we spoke to an insurance guy, and the type of policy that I have is I have a vacation rental insurance policy, right? It protects me against income loss. It protects me against my furniture, or everything that I've purchased into the property to stage it, and it also protects me against my any liabilities gone against me for Airbnb. So definitely, if you're bringing in thousands of dollars a month, guys, you should definitely have an insurance. It's almost like you're just waiting for something to happen. You need to have something to insure your business. If your company is bringing in $10,000 a month, trust me, you're going to have a insurance. I'm able to kind of go through some of the carriers that offer that rental insurance type, offline. And if you guys direct message me, we'll go on further details. I don't want to say any names to show any type of favoritism or anything like that, but there are insurance policies out there that protect you against your income. Like I said, any lost wages, it protects you against your furniture, any assets in your home that make your property well for Airbnb or to be a vacation rental. There's insurance out there for vacation rentals. Great question. Great question. Great questions. Y'all keep them coming. Y'all keep them coming. It's 8:56. 8:56. Remember, guys, the purpose of this streaming is to kind of go over the acquisitions. We went over 3 types of way you can acquire Airbnb. That was the rental arbitrage method, which is very popular, the most common one. We went over lease to own a property, and then we went over the traditional way to purchase a property and get it onto Airbnb. And then we went over automation, and we went over some of the tips and tricks to do to automate your Airbnb. We talked about software. We talked about the property management aspect of it and things like that. So keep them coming. Keep the questions going. Good questions. Good questions. Remember, guys, it's not I'm just scrolling through these questions here if you see me looking at the screen. There's not a universal startup cost. So just know that you're going to need to talk to somebody that has experience in the game. You guys can definitely tap in with me, depending on the type of property that you want. I'll give you an idea of some of the stuff that I've seen, so what my clients have done, what they have spent to start their Airbnb, whether they're in an apartment complex, or whether they're in a townhome, or whether in a single family, or just recently multifamily. So the startup cost is definitely going to be dependent on your budget. Definitely depending on your budget. Remember, it's a high spending up front. It's high spending up front. So, all right. Any more questions? Shoot them, y'all. There's no dumb questions. Feel free to ask anything. People looking to purchase real estate, ask questions about that. I've been a realtor. I've been doing this about 10 years. I've been in the Airbnb space for about 4 years as an active investor. I JV. I do things by myself. And then more recently, we just start coaching and giving out the knowledge to people that want to start Airbnb. So ask any type of questions that you guys need. Shoot them out right now. Right now, we're doing the question and answer part of this stream for you guys. Remember, we're going to be doing this, I think, every other week until the course drops, and then you'll be able to kind of purchase the course, and you'll have all the information from acquisition to get into automating your Airbnb, and there's going to be a bonus in there. So turnkey flipping Airbnbs is a whole nother thing. I love to talk to you guys about how to turnkey and flip Airbnbs. That's really my main focus right now. I've let go about, I think about 60-70% of my portfolio by flipping the Airbnbs and offering it turnkey to investors, right? So, like I said earlier, y'all, it's any type of way. This Airbnb is designed for your budget. It's designed for your budget. So don't feel like you need a whole lot of money to start to get up in this game. I'm dealing with investors now that all they want to do is kind of buy the turnkey product, buy the convenience of getting the Airbnb already ready to go, already making money on Airbnb, and that's the concept that we're doing now. So I can go into the details on that with you guys. I'm doing one-on-one coaching on turnkey Airbnbs. So it's a whole nother science to it. You got to have the buyers. You got to have the presence to market your property and things like that. And we go more further in details. We have sold Airbnbs for $50,000 plus. I kid you not. On turnkey Airbnbs, and that's another discussion for more of a personal day. If you guys want to ask about the turnkey method, those are for people that have the liquid and they just want to put it down and they want to press green light and go. So, any more questions, guys? Oh, how much is turnkey? That's another question. It depends on your budget, right? We have, for y'all to stay on, we have units available. So that I'm going to be selling. We have a 1-bedroom close to NRG. That one is going to be going for $8,000. It does about $3,700 to $4,200 a month on Airbnb. That one is for sale. It comes with all utilities paid. It comes with the bookings from the date of acquisition, from the lease start. You'll keep the bookings. The furniture is there for the duration for you to start Airbnb or operate Airbnb. That one is running about $8,000. The lease on that one is $1,800 per month. So that one is the 1-bedroom that we have for sale. It's going for about $8,000, and it does very well. It has about a 65% occupancy, and that one's going to be for sale. You DM me if you're interested in that one. We also have a 2-bedroom Airbnb, and we're going to post this on my page too. We have a 2-bedroom Airbnb. That one is going for $10,000, and it does about $4,200 to $4,700 a month on Airbnb, and stays occupied 65% of the time. It's good money, good passive income. Utilities are included in the rent, and the rent for that one is $2,000 a month. So the first one, the 1-bedroom, is we're looking at about $1,800 a month. Is coming in anywhere from $3,700 down up to $4,000. The 2-bedroom is at $4,200 to $4,700 a month on Airbnb, and that's just based on how it's staged right now. So you guys can purchase into these Airbnbs and repurpose or restage it however you want, to boost the value of the place, to charge a little bit more. So right now we have two opportunities. We have two opportunities on the table for turnkey Airbnbs, and they won't last past the weekend. So if you're interested in that, check out my page. Be checking out my page, and we're going to post a little bit more about it. But send me a direct message, and we can engage a little bit further on the turnkey method. This is for everybody that stayed on the live past 9. I told you I had a treat. Those are the two treats. We have a 1-bedroom condo and a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo up for sale, up for grabs right now. 24 months with a 3rd year as an option. So available for sale for any investor that's looking to kind of get in on a turnkey method. Hope that answers your question. So y'all, if you're interested in that, shoot me a DM, and we can engage with that. So 2 turnkey options are available now. We had 3, but the 3rd one got snatched before we started the stream. So remember, it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath available condo, and then there's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo available. 24 months with a 3rd year option for a 36-month campaign on Airbnb. They're already making money. They've already been on Airbnb. Your utilities are inside of your rent fee per month. So the only thing that you're doing is coming in, acquiring the property, setting up your own security, and pressing green light, and cash flow is already coming in. Also, from the date of purchase, if there's bookings after from your lease start, you get to keep those bookings. You get to keep those bookings. So that is the turnkey method. We have 2 units available. We're going to be posting about those, I think, tomorrow or maybe even later tonight, just depending on the social media manager. We're going to post those, and those are available for sale. So, all right. Guys, I appreciate you guys for coming through and answering questions and participating. Thank you guys for everybody that stayed on the live and on YouTube. This is the first stream that we're going to do. I think we're going to do 2 or 3 more until the course drops. And the course is going to outline everything that I kind of went over through this stream. And you're going to have great value in a course. And I can't wait for you guys to give me feedback on it. But as always, man, steady moves. What type of time you on? Thanks.